After months of negotiations, a handful of Ukrainian pilots are at long last in Arizona. They are part of the first group of Ukrainians learning how to fly the F-16 fighter jet. A small number of pilots, who arrived in the United States last month to participate in an English language course at Lackland Air Force Base in Texas, have passed their first test for English proficiency and are headed to Morris Air National Guard Base in Arizona. The Ukraine's pilots will first learn the basics of operating the F-16 in the classroom and in simulators before moving on to flying the actual jets, as is typical for any Air Force pilot training program. However, the course may be accelerated due to the urgent need to get them back to the battlefield. There, they will train with the 162nd Wing, the main F-16 training hub for the Air Force. Every country currently flying the F-16 today was taught by the 162nd. The training regiment starts in the classroom before the pilots move on to a simulator and then, finally, flying actual jets over the American Southwest. The plane is no silver bullet in the conflict, but it's a notable improvement to Ukraine's stock of Soviet-era jets. It has multiple potential uses, including defending against Russia's exploding drone barrages, bombarding Russian defensive positions on the front line, and a more risky and therefore less likely scenario. Much of its capabilities will depend on the weapons it's equipped with and the effectiveness of the pilots flying it. The training begins amid concerns that the Pentagon is running out of money to continue sending military aid to Ukraine, after lawmakers passed a last-minute spending bill to avert a government shutdown that did not include funding for Kyiv. Officials in Kyiv have been pushing to get modern fighter aircraft to the battlefield for more than a year. The Ukrainian military, working with United States Department of Defense, has managed to integrate Western air-launched missiles with its Soviet-era fighter jets. However, Ukrainian officials say modern fighter jets will give them an advantage. President Joe Biden finally approved an international effort to train Ukrainian pilots to fly F-16s in May, but the coalition took months to straighten out the details of the program. Initially, officials said the pilots and maintainers would train in Europe. The Pentagon announced last month that some of the training would take place in the United States. The United States is part of an 11-nation coalition to get F-16s to Ukraine. The Netherlands and Denmark are also training pilots and will give Ukraine its first batch of 42 F-16s. The planes should be in country sometime in the first part of 2024. Even with expedited training, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the earliest anyone can expect Ukrainian pilots to be flying F-16s against Russia would be next spring. F-16s are in wide use by many NATO countries. While they do not have the same sort of stealth capabilities as other fighter jets like the F-22 or F-35, fighting Falcons are still a substantial upgrade over the Soviet-era aircraft Ukraine has been forced to fly throughout its war with Russia. F-16s are multi-role aircraft with proven combat effectiveness in air-to-air and air-to-surface missions. They are faster, more maneuverable, and have more advanced radar and targeting systems than anything else in the Ukrainian Air Force. A group of Ukrainian pilots training in Europe are already learning on F-16 flight simulators. The next stage is flights with an instructor in real jets.